I'm in Potomac-Pond Branch, looking east at Old Dominion Drive, about 50 feet short of where the marker is, where it becomes National Park Service Great Falls Park territory. You can see the amount of erosion from this deeply incised stream. We're in the Fairfax RPA Resource Protection Area segment where I can't do any remediation without a permit, and I'm trying to get Fairfax's attention to come up with a plan and preferably some funds and permissions and other help in terms of keeping all this sediment from going into the Potomac. The whole purpose of the RPA was to prevent this kind of damage, but here it's causing inaction because we can't do anything without some permission and without a plan. What you're seeing here might be beyond the scope of what a person can do. It looks like it's going to need some heavy equipment to reconnect the 20-foot wall here from the, it's totally disconnected from the floodplain. You just can't rebuild that bank. Might have to regrade it. You can see this massive tree is in danger of falling in. We're going to walk along here, and now we're heading west along the stream. This tree also here heading north is in trouble. That tree over there, now these are rebuildable banks right over here. These trees can be saved. I'm not into the heavy hand of slash and burn and radical regrading. So I think we could do some things here that are just in terms of mats and gully stuffing and wood, brush, filtering. This one, again, this is a nice tree, and it is about to fall in here. Here's some more erosion right here. Okay, so now I'm in my neighbor's backyard, my immediate neighbor, and now we're still in the RPA. You can see some erosion here that would be fixable. Here's another tree here. This is a smaller one. It's up on a precipice. Here's some bad erosion right here. Okay, at this point, we're still in the RPA. There's a couple of logs here that were placed to start diverting to protect some of these areas, create kind of a J-hook to divert, and then create some sediment here to rebuild the bank. But we're still in the RPA, so we can't do anything of substance. I'll show you the work that I've been doing outside of the RPA. Okay, this is the property line. This is now in RPA, but it's on our property. We're going to come up through here, and I'll show you what we have. Okay, this is where the RPA ends, and I've done a little bit of work. You can see some staking. The ground here used to fall away directly, and it was steep down, and now it's being rebuilt. We're trying to slow the stormwater. We have some pools. There's a fallen tree, but that was just a dead tree, but it did take down some other trees with it, and we have some other fallen trees here from erosion. But here you can see some actual erosion mitigation. Last year I pulled a lot of, probably about 2 tons of weed-free invasive stiltgrass, and it is under this fallen log right here. And it's doing an excellent job filtering the earth. This whole area right here, where you see the root of that tree, it was all fallen away. This is all rebuilt. And you can see that this area looks much, much nicer. This tree was just hanging out in midair. Now it's in earth. So this area is filling back in. So my non-RPA part is looking pretty good, but now we need a plan for the rest of the stream that is in the RPA where my hands are tied. Okay, in lot 30, looking west, you can see some of the progress is done. There's a lot of drop in altitude here, but there are some rocky parts here that are slowing the flow. You've got a nice pool here. You've got some brush here matted beyond it, anchored, that it's creating more filtering and slowing the water further to try to protect downstream and to protect this area. You actually see some buildup in areas where the walls are being rebuilt. You can see some staking over here. You can see over here that all these carved away walls are being rebuilt. This one here used to fall away where that tree is. That tree was in danger of falling in. Now you can see that this area is pretty much stabilized. This took about 3 years worth of work to fix. And then beyond it, just beyond that bridge, we start getting into the RPA portion, and that's where we're going to have to do quite a bit of work once we get approvals. There was a lot of clear cutting of 4 acres of trees up here, and now there's 2 very large, they've got to be like 15,000 square foot homes. And so there's a lot more runoff than there used to be. There's also runoff coming down off this field over here. This is sort of the headwater of this tine of Potomac-Pond Branch. There's some brush in here to help knock down the flow and spread it out. There's this used to be a deeply incised channel. There used to be a spring house over here. This is where the water seeps up out of the ground normally, but the flow is very minimal. So it always has been on this stream, just in terms of groundwater. This is all stormwater coming ripping through here. This here was deeply incised. That's all filled with logs and such to help slow it down, and it's much better than it used to be. You can see a little effort has been put in here. There used to be quite a chasm under these trees here. That was a huge hollow under that tree. That tree was just suspended by nothing. Now it's getting re-anchored. Now looking west towards the area we were just looking at, you can still see there's work to do. There's a whole unaddressed area there. It's not as bad as some of the areas in the RPA downstream, but in this non-RPA area, you can see I've got some bank stabilization, and then I need to do some filling in of the stream itself and then anchor that down to filter sediment and slow the flow. There's a little bit of other techniques that I was going to use here, but in general I need a plan for not only the non-RPA section, but most importantly for the RPA section, because that's where the worst damage is. And I mean, I'm helping the RPA section somewhat by the work I'm doing in the non-RPA section to slow down the flow. Already in a thunderstorm, you're not seeing the water so muddy as it used to be. It's getting some pretty good filtration, and the slow has been spread out over time, so it's not a huge surge. These pools are filling in and acting as buffers. But in general, I need a plan and permission for this area.